Hey, what's going on, Black people? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor. I want to give you some warnings about some things I've been reading about the economic transitions that await us, as well as some of the things going on in the stock market. And we're going to break some of this down for you. So buckle up your seatbelt, get comfortable, hit the thumbs up button. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. This is where we cover daily financial news and commentary from a Black perspective. We keep it 100% Black here. Make sure you subscribe at theblackfinancialchannel.com and follow the Black Financial Channel on Instagram. We don't just keep it financial. We keep it Black and financial. And we don't pretend to be Black. We are Black every single day of the week because we believe that Black wealth is the only kind of wealth, and that's the only wealth that matters to us. Now, with that said, I want to give you guys a warning. As you know, every day I tell you guys to do this, to read the financial news. And I've been reading the news, and I've seen some things that are kind of developing, winds that are blowing when it comes to the economics of the country. The stock market is solid. Right now, most of the indicators for the stock market are pointing upward. If you have a nice, healthy, balanced portfolio, you should be okay. Now, those of you who've taken on some of the riskier assets, like the growth companies, whether it's Jumia or Tilray, those are companies that are good for selling the options. But I've never felt those are good companies in terms of growth because they're risky, volatile, etc. But if you've been selling the options, you're okay. If you're waiting for the growth, you might be waiting, or maybe this is a buying opportunity. I don't know. But here's one thing that I want you to be kind of concerned about and pay close attention to. The World Health Organization says that the virus, I'm not going to even use that keyword because they ban your video if you start talking about it, and they think you're talking about it in a way that's not not pre-approved by the agenda. Basically, the World Health Organization says that the pandemic is actually growing exponentially, with 4.4 million new cases a week. The World Health Organization said the trajectory of the pandemic is more than 4.4 million new cases per week. Maria Van Kerkhove, the agency's technical lead for COVID-19, says, quote, "We're at a critical point in this pandemic. Quote, this is not the situation we want to be in 16 months into a pandemic where we have proven control measures." So what's really happening now, and I saw another story where Dr. Fauci and the CDC is saying that Michigan, for example, should shut everything down, even with all the vaccinations. This is really fascinating because, those little shots they want to put in your, those government shots, as we'll call them today. I think they ordered 200 million, or they were way ahead of their schedule of the number of people that were going to get that shot. But even with them reaching these big numbers, they still got these variations of the virus that are out there. There's a South African variation that went through the Pfizer vaccine. The Pfizer shot did not work to stop the variant that's occurring in South Africa. And they're also telling Michigan to shut it all down, even with the vaccine. That's going to cause political instability because Gretchen, what's her name, the governor of Michigan, is already getting heat because business owners have gone bankrupt. Terrible things have happened to people's economic situation because she kind of had a little bit of overkill and it got a little bit messy. Now, I'm not telling you what's going to happen exactly. Nobody knows, I believe, and I totally get this idea that we got to move forward. And you guys know that I've always been a skeptic when it comes to the taking these shots and all that. And I haven't taken the shot. But what I will say, though, is you don't want to be stupid. I'm very much anti-stupidity. And, and one of the things I will tell you is that I feel like there's something brewing that's going to, excuse me, that's going to require an adjustment in our thinking that could throw things off very quickly. Now, don't worry. I ain't got the Rona. I have allergies in the springtime. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, share button, subscribe button. I'll drink a little water. Okay, another big piece of economic information that's definitely going to impact the stock market is Biden's infrastructure plan. Biden is pushing forward a $2 trillion plan to do something that America needed to do a long time ago, which is upgrading the infrastructure. Our electric grid is way behind. More people need access to Wi-Fi. I've seen the bill. I've seen the plan. Roads and bridges are garbage in America. I think that the infrastructure experts, when they grade our infrastructure, pretty much give us like a D- as a country because our infrastructure is so terrible. So what Biden's doing is making sense. Complete sense. I support it. In fact, one of the debates that they're having with the Republicans. See, here's how politics works, right? If you're the party in power, then you kind of do what you want and you do whatever your agenda is, and then the other party sits back and with their arms folded and complains and tries to disrupt what you're doing. That's what the Democrats did when the Republicans were moving forward. Now the Republicans are doing the same thing. The Republicans are sitting back and they're mad and they're not trying to do anything, not trying to be helpful. So again, my position at the end of the day is that all these people don't care about the country. None of these people care about you. They only care about themselves and they care about their power. That's why I'm not into the Democratic Party agenda or the Republican agenda, but I will tell you the things that they do that I like and things that I don't like. Okay. So in this particular case, Biden's infrastructure bill is needed. There's no question about it. Now, what's interesting though, is that they haven't figured out how they're going to pay for it. Right. And that's a big problem. Government debt is out of control. It's absolutely ridiculous. Also, basically, there are two ways that Biden can pay for this. Three ways, really. He can cut the size of the plan, which is what the Republicans want him to do. He can raise taxes, which is what he absolutely needs to do. He needs to raise taxes on corporations. He needs to raise taxes on the rich. So Biden has it right in this particular area. Or he can cut costs in some other area. I think they talked about cutting the cost of defense in a few other areas. The government can always use some cost cutting. Something's going to have to give. The problem is that your political system is not built to do the right thing. It's built to do the short-term thing. That's why, again, America's headed to a hell in a handbasket long-term, because we don't know how to make decisions in an appropriate way. But one of the big debates is whether or not broadband and electric grids and water systems are included as infrastructure. Now, I personally think getting broadband across the entire country, why wouldn't that be infrastructure? Why wouldn't the electric grid be considered infrastructure? Why wouldn't water systems be considered infrastructure? I mean, you saw what happened in Flint, right? So I don't see where the debate is. But of course, they're politicians and they're stupid. So they're going to find dumb reasons to stop progress. That's what the Democrats, if they weren't in power, they'd be doing the same thing. Right now, the Republicans are not in power. So they're sitting back, just screaming and hollering and acting like little babies. And that's what it is. Now, another piece of information that I read today that I thought was really interesting is that the CEO of a top Bitcoin exchange is warning that there could be a crackdown on your cryptocurrency. Now, with cryptocurrency, we'll go across the board here. Crypto has been interesting. How many of you own XRP at all? If you own XRP, aka Ripple, I own a lot of Ripple, and I sold some Ripple when the market when the market dipped, but I kept a lot of my Ripple too. Well, if you've been following Ripple, you'll notice Ripple has increased by 100% in value this month. Ripple has been ripping straight through in terms of price increases. Now, the thing about Ripple, though, is that Ripple can't be sold. If you have Ripple on Coinbase, it's just sitting there. You can move it to another wallet, but you can't sell it for cash. And Jason Powell, the CEO of a Bitcoin exchange called Kraken, said that there could be some crackdown on cryptocurrencies. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen and others have warned about the use of cryptocurrencies for illicit transactions. That's BS. They're not trying to disrupt crypto because it's dangerous. Again, whenever the government imposes tyranny, first thing they do is they tell you, we're doing this for your protection. And then you're like, well, I don't want you to protect me. They're like, yeah, but you're just too stupid to know that you need to be protected. So we're going to protect you anyway. Right. And so they're claiming that, that the reason they have to crack down on cryptocurrency is because all these illegal and terrible things are happening with Bitcoin and we got to stop it. Well, you had this whole thing called the war on drugs, and you had NAFTA. The NAFTA laws led to more drugs being imported into the United States than ever before, and that was all being done with currency, with fiat currency. So you didn't end the fiat currency or regulate fiat currency because of the illegal transactions. You simply tried to weed out the bad stuff, right? You didn't throw fiat currency under the bus. You just said, okay, let's figure out if we can stop some of this, right? So the same thing is true with crypto. They could do the same thing, but the problem is that this is the power source that they don't control. They can't really properly tax. So they're doing all they can to kind of cause some disruption. This could cause a decline in the value of your crypto. So you want to be really careful, be prepared for that. So it said cryptocurrencies have surged in value lately. Bitcoin hit a price record of more than 61,000 last month. Yes, it did. They say governments around the world may start to clamp down on the use of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. The CEO of a top crypto exchange warned. A number of U.S. officials, from U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen to European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde, have sounded the alarm about the use of Bitcoin for money laundering, terrorist financing, and other illegal activities. Now, what's interesting about this to me is that, you're really seeing. It's not too long ago, I heard Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen call for something that I actually agreed with, which was an international standard on corporate taxation, right? An international standard on how companies are taxed, in countries around the world. And the reason for that is they want to form a cartel, like a cartel-like structure, where corporations can't jump ship and just say, okay, well, because you're taxing us too much here, we're going to go and base our company in Ireland because Ireland offered us a better deal. They can't play the countries against each other. So they want to become kind of like the NCAA. The reason the NCAA has been able to control the athletes is because all the universities, all the member schools make an agreement not to compete with each other, right? This is an illegal practice in America, but sometimes it makes a little bit of sense. I think it makes sense in that particular case, in Yellen's case, because corporations are hurting the American workers because they're jumping around to different countries where the people at the top, the hardcore capitalists that are making all the money, get a chance to make most of the profit. They can hire workers for $2 an hour in Mexico, pay lower taxes, not pay taxes in the US. They're paying taxes somewhere else, but they're selling products in the United States. So they're sucking up your money, but not giving anything back to the community. So I personally think that that's a good idea. Now, here's where I think this is going to get sinister, though. I believe that Yellen's efforts to create a global world order economically when it comes to taxation is going to spin over into cryptocurrency. I think that one of the things that is going to occur is they're going to somehow come up with some sort of international coalition to control the growth of the crypto markets. I really believe that. I believe that they're going to get to a point where they're going to say, okay, look, it doesn't matter if we make crypto illegal in our country because people are just going to do trades in other countries. So basically, I think they're going to just try to come up with some international standard, international control mechanism. And I'm not totally opposed to that. I don't have a problem with the governments getting in on the deal. What I don't like is that they are going to get to the point where they're trying to suppress the use of cryptocurrency as a form of exchange. Because again, I personally believe the more people are using crypto, the lower the value of your fiat currency, the more inflated it's going to become, the more it's going to become harder for your value to be worth anything, for your crypto or your fiat currency to be worth anything. So I think that you're going to see some big problems in the future with this. I encourage you, if you are invested in crypto, be really careful and be ready, just mentally ready for the fact that your values could just plummet out of nowhere. So just sort of be positioned, don't overinvest, and make sure you stay safe. Okay. All right. So anyway, those are the thoughts that are on my mind. We got some food coming, so I got to bounce up out of here. But do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, share button, subscribe button. Also, if you have kids and you want your kids to learn about economics, I believe that's the most important thing in the world. Like, one of the things you should teach your kids is that working is the absolute worst way to make money. Working is the hardest way in the world to make money. Don't teach them, like, people say if you don't work, you don't eat. No, people who don't work actually eat the most. People who don't work actually eat off of the people who do work. So don't tell your kids if you don't work, you don't eat. And also, no, teach them how to make money the right way. Teach them the pillars of wealth. Teach them how to invest. And we have custom-made workbooks designed by Black educational experts for your kids. You can go take a look. We have flashcards too. You can go to financialworkbooks.com. That's the URL right there on the screen. So feel free to take a look. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. Hit the thumbs up button on your way out. Make sure you subscribe. I'll be back around a little bit later. I'm actually going to be on my Twitch channel playing video games, and where we go and we talk about stocks, and we also kill zombies and stuff with my kids. So if you want to follow on Twitch, there you go. There's Twitch and the Twitch channel. So feel free to follow us on Twitch. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. I'll see you soon. Love you. Peace.